So y'all, Halloween was supposed to be cute. On the Thursday before Halloween, I went to a party filled with theater majors and dressed up as Seymour from the musical Little Shop of Horrors. People loved my costume and they especially loved the RG2 plan that I had actually made myself. It was a pretty chill party and I enjoyed myself. And then on Friday, the actual day of Halloween, I went out as a mummy to another theater party, so everyone I knew was there and the vibes were pretty immaculate. The music was good, I'm looking good, everyone else was looking good, and it was just a good time. But Saturday? Baby, that night was straight out of a horror movie.
Got a lot on your plate, different world, different state. It's not your fault, you started late. Take your time and you'll be straight. Lean on me cause I got faith in what you're doing, you're pursuing.
Down here at Texas State, they take Halloween very seriously, so I wanted to make sure my first Halloween was a good one. Halloween was on a Friday, so since people usually get out of class on Thursday and we have Saturday after, it's a perfect 3-day weekend to spend Halloween. So it's the Saturday after Halloween on Friday, and I've literally gone out 2 nights in a row, and my brain is like literally melted from different substances and liquids that, you know, I will not be naming. Pink Whitney. And literally I'm just thinking I need to stay in for the night because I'm actually like so tired and I kind of need rest. But you know how the little devil on your shoulder gets in your ear and tells you to do the shit you know you're not supposed to be doing? And I start thinking, I don't want to be that one lame person that stays in their dorm on Saturday night and scrolls on Instagram and sees that everybody else is out doing stuff and going to parties. So I hit up some of my friends that I spent the last 2 nights with and I'm like, hey guys, what's the move tonight? Are y'all doing anything? And half of them were literally like so beat up from the previous nights that they were like, we're gonna stay in tonight, we're gonna rest, which is what I should have been doing. And then the other half of people were like, oh yeah, we're going out again tonight. So I was like, okay, I need to be with them people. So I'm like, okay, literally just tell me what you guys are gonna do tonight and I'll go with y'all. So my friends decide that they want to go to this apartment party, and it's actually the same apartment as the previous party from last night. So I'm like, okay, cool. And by this day, I really didn't plan to go out on Saturday. I just wasn't sure. So I didn't pick out multiple Halloween costumes, and I had just did Seymour from Little Shop and the mummy costume, and I just decide, okay, I'm gonna pull out the mummy costume again since that's more mainstream, and you know, people are less likely to get a musical theater character, whereas, you know, a mummy, everyone knows a mummy. But this time I was just gonna put on some regular like black eyeshadow kind of cream makeup instead of having my friend do my mummy makeup again. So I just smeared some cream makeup around my eyes to give it sort of a mummy look, but it was really just giving like Black Swan but off a Tubi. So me and my friends are in the dorm, almost ready to go, just putting on the finishing touches to our costumes, you know, making sure we look good. And we start getting these beep beep beeps on our phones and we're like, what's that? So we open up our phones and look at the news, and that's when we find out that in the downtown area of our college town called The Square, there was a shooting and 3 people were injured, and one of the people ended up dying from their injuries. May their soul rest in peace. Now, The Square is the place where literally all of the clubs are, and the police ended up shutting down The Square. So if you were a student planning to go clubbing, you would basically have to find something else to go do. And guys, all of this happened before the sun even went down. So it's like, it's already starting to get crazy. People have been partying this whole week, especially on Thursday and Friday. So, you know, people are still drunk, they're still high. Everyone is not in their right mind, which is why people are all of a sudden pointing around guns. So some crazy shit is starting to go down, but literally all of me and my friends are like ready to go. So it's like, hey, it's too late to turn back now. You know, let's just go out and go to this party and hopefully we'll all be okay. So it was 6 of us going out, and we ended up splitting into 2 groups of 3. 3 of us were being driven by a friend of ours who was just going to drop us off at the party and then go back to his place, and then the other 3 people were driving with one girl who was actually going to the party with us. So we head out in 2 different cars, and that's when everything started to go left. So on the invitation for the party, they basically said DM us for the address. And as we're in the car, I ended up DMing like the people who were running the party, and I didn't get any reply. So we had no idea where the actual apartment was. So we ended up driving around the entire apartment complex looking for the actual apartment where the party was. We were trying to hear some music. We were trying to see if people were walking in a certain direction, but we literally couldn't find anything. It was like a scavenger hunt, but without the prize. About 5 minutes later, we're still driving around, but we're very much lost and we can't find anything, and I'm starting to get anxious, like what's about to happen. And then we finally find the apartment where the party is happening, and it's literally packed, and people are literally like out the door, people are outside on the grass, out in the cold, and I'm just like, okay, so like basically, you know, this thing is packed, and we're like, okay, so what are we gonna do? And then that's when my homegirls is like, oh well, there's this frat party that we can go to. And I'm like, huh? Now, so far throughout my college experience, I have never been to a frat party before, and I've never even like tried to actively look for one and go to one, because I've heard they're like infamously known for not letting guys in because, you know, the frat bros want all the girls to themselves, which honestly, they can have the girls. I don't want them. Give me the frat bros. So now we have to call the other group of people that's driving to the party and be like, hey, don't go to the party. It's actually packed as fuck. We're going to a frat party instead. And this is one of the many change of plans for the night. So the other group is basically like, okay, we'll just meet you guys at the frat party. So we finally get to the frat party, and our friend who is driving us around finally drops us off and ends up heading back to his place. But when we get out the car, literally all I'm seeing is, you know, girls in sexy outfits and frat bros who look like they trying to crack something. So the other three people that were on their way had only one guy amongst two other girls. But at that point, I was the only guy amongst a group of girls. And I was like, guys, do you think, you know, they're gonna let me in? And the girls are like, oh, don't worry. They're gonna let you in. You know, they'll let the gays in because the gays bring in the girls and they make them feel more comfortable. And I was like, okay. But I was kind of skeptical. So me and the girls are waiting for the other three people to show up, and we're just kind of waiting outside the frat, and it's cold. I'm starting to shiver a little bit, but we were waiting because we were trying to play logically. And since, you know, the other group had one guy amongst them, we were like, okay, if two guys, you know, show up with four girls, it would look better for like our case, and we'd have a higher chance of actually getting into the frat. But as we're waiting, it's literally so cold, and you know, my mummy outfit, I think I had like 2 strings on my chest and some spandex and drawers underneath and some bandages on my legs, so it just wasn't enough clothes to keep me warm, and I was starting to freeze. And we've been waiting forever for the other people to show up because they parked their car all the way down since there was no parking near the frat house, so they're like physically walking their way up to the party. So our other friends finally show up, and the guy is literally dressed up as the character Sally Face from, I guess, the video game Sally Face. So he has on like a mask with like a blue wig, and he has like a fake bloody plastic knife in his hand. And I literally have to just like facepalm myself because like as a guy trying to get into a frat party, and this guy was straight, it's like if you're dressed up as a serial killer, what are your chances? Like, how do you like, what do you really think your chances of getting in are? I'm just saying, it might not be the best look to show up dressed as a serial killer, but oh well. So as a group, we all finally walk up to the entrance of the frat party, and there's basically like, you know, a few guys at different kinds of like lines, I guess, and we go up to like one line, and the girls, I think, already like knew the guy that was letting people in. So I was like, okay, this might be better for our case. They might be able to like, you know, appease him into letting us guys in. And, you know, the girls are kind of like mingling with the guy for a little bit. They're like giggling, you know, probably like seducing him into being like, let our friends in the building. And then the guy lets the girls in the line. And next up in the line is the guy dressed up as Sally Face. And he walks up to the frat bro, and the frat bro literally says, yo, is that a wig? And this guy, my friend, he really knows how to fucking like agitate me. Like he is something else. Love him though, but literally he has like, you know, this mask on with a blue wig and a knife in his hand, and in his deep ass voice he just goes, yes. And already I'm just like, we not getting in this bitch. They not letting us in this bitch.
If you're not a brother or getting with a brother? Get the fuck out! Name 5 brothers or I'm gonna drag you out of here.
And the frat bro basically told him like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't let you in, you know, we can't let guys in because it's kind of a liability, because like I guess like the fraternity had like some type of controversy surrounding like their hazing or whatever, since it's like a nationwide fraternity. And basically, you know, it's just like it's not a good idea if like some guy with a, you know, literal mask and like a plastic knife goes to a frat party, and now the girls are thinking, oh, that must have been a brother of the frat, and it just wouldn't be a good look for them. And I don't know if that was some type of cover up and he just really didn't want to let him in, or it was like an actual reason, but either way, I'm just like, fuck. So they shut this guy down, and I'm literally next in line, and I show up, you know, looking all skinny and scared and shaky and cold in my mummy costume, and I do my best like extra spicy white twink voice, and I'm like, I'm gay, I literally brought these girls here, can you let me in? And the frat bro, he was like, I'm sorry dude, I'm an ally, but I can't let you in. And I'm like, fuck, you know. So literally like basically they don't let any of us guys in, and you know the girls are good friends, so they were like loyal, and they were like, you know, basically like, okay, if our friends can't go in, we're not gonna go in either. So we all end up leaving as a group. Failed attempt number 2. So now that we were leaving the frat party, we have to get into the car that the other group had originally driven with just 3 people, but now with 6 people. So we're walking to the car, which is like maybe a good mile away, I would say, and it's cold, and I'm drunk, and I'm upset, and I'm overstimulated, and it's just so much walking, and I've had it, y'all. They didn't let us in, and like, being gay was not enough. Are those dogs in the cage? I was literally one inconvenience away from losing it. So we finally end up making it to the car, and we all have to like squeeze in the back like fucking sardines, because the car is literally over like max capacity. And you know, we end up like saying like, what are we gonna do? And the girl who suggested let's go to the frat party earlier is now like, okay, let's go back to the party we originally tried to get into to see if there's like less people now. So we head back to that first party, the original party, and it's shut down. And the host of that party ends up giving us like a new location to go to, but at this point I'm literally tired, the girl who's driving is tired, her gas tank is tired, you know, I'm cold, I was rejected by a frat, and I just like, I'm wearing the same costume that I wore the previous night. I just feel really bad, guys, and I just really want to go home.
Okay, look, bitch, I ain't finna keep begging you, so what you gonna do? I'm going home. Like a weak ass bitch.
So we pull up to the third party, and you know how people will try and say, oh, the third time is the charm. This was not a charm. This was not a treat. It was a fucking trick. So this party is at like an apartment complex, and the party is being hosted like in the clubhouse of the apartment. And as we walk up in the building, I immediately get like a bad vibe. Like the place just feels shabby, and there's people giving us weird looks, and I'm like, y'all, are y'all not scared? Keep in mind, all of the people that were trying to go to the clubs earlier that night before they were all shut down are probably all at this party, so there's a lot of angst and tension that's most likely in the air. So we walk up in the building, and I'm immediately hit with like this smell of like weed, vapes, and testosterone, and dirty ass cologne, and it's like all of the smells are like having an orgy inside of my nose, and I immediately get like this fucking headache. And the whole thing is just giving like straight people energy. Like the guys at the party aren't even dressed up in costumes, they just have on like regular clothes, and it's a whole bunch of young niggas walking around, and it's, you know, just like girls and like, you know, very much I have one thread of fabric to my name outfits, which like there's no shame in that, but you can just tell it was just like straight people wanting to hunch on one another. Whereas, you know, the theater parties, it's more of the girls and the gays. So I immediately knew I was not in like my area, you know, I was not in like the spaces that I usually find enjoyment in. And I'm a very spiritual person, and I can feel energy from people, and I can feel energy in the room, and I just got like a bad vibe, so I just knew I was gonna go home. So I say to my friends, y'all, I'm finna go home, I'll see y'all have a good time, be safe. And oh child, I don't even think I said be safe, I was just like, y'all, I'm going home, give me my keys. But low-key, you know, I wanted them to be safe. So I order an Uber, and I'm walking out of the party, and I'm just standing out there waiting for my Uber in the cold. Bitch, I'm literally out here shivering, ho. It's cold as fuck. I barely got no clothes on. Like, it's just, I'm done, bitch. I'm done. I should have stayed my ass in on Saturday. Yes, bitch, you should have. So by 1:20 a.m., I'm back at my dorm now. I've changed, I've showered. I'm feeling a little bit more relaxed, and I'm just kind of feeling bad because it's like I got ready for a Saturday night and I literally like didn't do anything that was fun. And I just kind of drove around the whole night, walking around in the cold when I could have just, you know, been home watching some Netflix. So I am kind of bummed out. And that's when I get this notification on my phone. And I open it up and it's a text from one of my friends, and she's like frantic in all caps, "Brima, did you fucking get home?" And I'm like, oh my god, you know, they miss me. They know I'm the life of the party. They're probably not even having any fun. And, you know, she actually like calls me up and she basically asked me again, and her voice is like frantic, and she's like, "Brima, did you end up getting home?" And y'all know I play too much, so I was like, "No, I actually ended up going to a different party." And she's like, "Brima, you need to get home right now because the party we were just at just got shot up." Guys, so this is literally minutes after I left the party and I came back to the dorm, and I'm with Raya in her room, and they just called me and told me that the party got shot up. So I'm gonna go check on them right now. Like, actually shots were fired and people were running, people were tripping, trying to get away and screaming. People were like falling down and scraping their knees. And I'm like, oh my god, like I'm literally shocked because I was just at that party a few minutes ago. And if I hadn't left when I did, who knows what could have happened. So I go down the hall to the people that ended up staying in for the night, and I'm like, did you guys just hear what happened? And we all basically like go downstairs and wait for them to pull up, and we just take everyone in one by one. People are like hyperventilating, people are like shaken, people have scraped knees, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, you know, these are like my friends and something just happened to them and I like wasn't there. And we make sure everyone gets to their room safely, and we're calming people down, just making sure that everyone feels settled. So guys, I got permission from one of the victims, Addie, to vlog. How are you feeling?
I feel okay. You know, nervous, but I know I'm safe, so I'm completely good.
Okay, that's good. I'm glad you didn't die, girl. I'm glad you're still with us, because you really would have became an angel tonight, baby. Yes, it is. It's going on the Ryman show. It's gonna be like,
follow me at Love Addie.
It's gonna be like. So I find out from my friend who was at the party that my friends were basically talking to this group of boys, and you know, they were just chatting it up at the party outside of the building. And that's when one of the boys' friends came up to them and was like, "We need to get out of here right now." This group of boys started like arguing, and one of them has a gun. My friends were feet away from the boys that were arguing, and just a few seconds later, shots were fired, and it was about like 7 or 8 of them. And that's when people started running and everything just went down. And I'm so glad that my friends all ended up coming home safely.
Okay, I'm logging in right now.
So Addie's filming TikTok transitions.
Addie's coping. Addie looks good. She's not.
No, she's coping right now.
I'm coping.
When you almost get shot up, you film a fucking TikTok transition. That's what you're supposed to do.
I love you.
I don't make the rules. Every day we look at the news and we see all of this bad and crazy stuff happening, but we never realize how actually close we are to ending up on the news ourselves. And until we can get our government to put out proper gun control laws, stuff like this is going to keep happening. Someone had to say it. Yes, you got your like performative activism chunk of like today's episode, but literally like it's true. Sometimes leaving early or just staying your ass in the house can save your life. So yeah, my third Halloween night was basically a horror movie, but I was the black character who said hell no at the beginning of the movie, so I actually ended up not experiencing any of the horror. Moral of the story, if your gut says go home, go home. Or better yet, just stay your ass at home at the very beginning and never trust a frat party ever. Guys, I also want to say thank you so much for the love that you showed me on my previous video. It was kind of a hit. And hello to all of my new subscribers. I hope you guys are enjoying my content, and please expect more. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, all of the good stuff. Stay safe, stay cute, stay alive. I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.